What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a close look at 4 brand new figures from the Four Horsemen Studios. 2 of the figures are LegionsCon exclusive figures, so we're going to take a close look at the Wal-torr the Mad 2-pack, and we're going to take a look at Vorgus Vermillius version 2. We're also going to take a close look at the Valiant Knight, which was a surprise drop at LegionsCon. But like my other reviews, guys, we are going to leave chapters below, so go ahead and click around if you want. But let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and start taking a look at these figures. And kicking things off, we are going to start off with the Valiant Knight, a very surprise drop from the Four Horsemen Studios at LegionsCon. This was super unexpected, guys, but very fun for those who attended. Don't you worry, guys, this is not an exclusive. This is a standard release. I believe it's going to be around $37 to $40. Will be released early 2024 with the reinforcements wave and the standard versions of the exclusives from LegionsCon. This one's super exciting because this is a preview of the brand new Knights. If the Four Horsemen is heading in this direction, guys, this is super exciting. We are getting a sense of what the Four Horsemen is going to be doing moving forward. I like what D Amazing called this. This is like the 3.0 Knight body, and I 100% agree with that. Over here, I grabbed 3 Knights at LegionsCon, so I built a little army. Typically with my reviews, I like to unbox with you and give you my first impressions, but I didn't this time around. I actually opened this figure at the lobby at LegionsCon. Luckily, I have some extras, so we can take a look at the packaging together. So the Valiant Knight comes in the standard Mythic Legion packaging. You got the cardboard box in the back, you got the clamshell, and you got the figure right up front. We do have the bio, so go ahead and feel free to pause that if you want to read, get to know the lore a little bit more. On the very front, we see the Mythic Legions logo, and on the very right, we have the faction. This one in particular isn't dedicated to anything current. On the very back, we got the bright blue sky with the cloud, and we see a little dragon right over there. We also have a brown tower with, it looks like an Alithia statue, which is pretty cool. And then we have a bit of a bio in the back, so go ahead, again, feel free to pause that and read it. Taking a look at the accessories, we have so much here to play with. We got a multitude of hands in different gestures. Looks like we got some extra grip hands, we have some fists, we have some open hands, so you can get a lot of expression out of this figure. We also get a couple of weapons, so we get the sword and its sheath. We also get this pretty cool mace with a cool chain on it. We also get this shield as well, a brand new shield, which looks pretty awesome. And just looking at some of the parts, guys, we got over here, so the only reuses here are the helmets and the loincloth, which came from Vorthog. Everything else is pretty much brand new. All right, guys, and starting to look at the details of this figure, again, there are a ton of new parts here. The shoulder pieces are new. We do get a new chest piece, which is pretty cool. This is also a little bit smaller because you got to fit the new tabard pieces and the new cloth pieces that we will be getting later. The arm detail, we got a little bit of a gold trim as well. A new belt. I kind of wish they included the belt with the loops so you can put your swords in it without tugging the belts, because I don't want to stretch these out too much. We also get pretty much all new legs, which are excellent, and I really do like the sculpt. The biggest highlight with this figure is its articulation, and that is what everyone is talking about. There are a couple of new things and new improvements that really make this figure stand out from the rest. First off, we have a new neck peg with a hinge, so that adds a lot of motion with the headpiece. Second off, with the arms, there is a little bit of space in the chest, which allows you to double grip a sword, which is crazy, guys. This is pretty awesome, and it's super fun. And here is a comparison with a couple of other knights in the line. So we got the Black Knight and we got Gorgo, and I try to put them in a similar pose so you guys can see the differences in the articulation. Overall improvements have been pretty impressive, so I am a huge fan, and I hope you guys are excited about this Valiant Knight. But this was super fun, guys. I think this is one of the best figures this year, and I cannot wait to see what the Four Horsemen does with their knight bodies moving forward. We are now taking a look at Wal-torr the Mad 2-pack. This one is both Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions together for the very first time. These 2 figures are based off of Walter Hagen, the brand ambassador and the founder of the Cabal. For those unaware, the Facebook Cabal is the best toy community out there. So if you're not in it and you're into Legions, you gotta be joining it today. But let's go ahead and start looking at the packaging. So we see both Mythic Legions and Cosmic Legions on the very front. Looking on the left side, we do see Wal-torr as a Cosmic, And on the right side, we do see Wal-torr as a Mythic Legion. And on the very back, we see a little bio, so go ahead and pause that to read ahead. All right, and talk about loaded up on accessories. Here we go. So starting off with the Space Wal-torr, we do have a Cabal shield, which I really do like. We got a red version of the gun. We also have some piping systems. We also have this skull here, which looks pretty awesome. I love that. We also have this helmet. This is from the engineer. We also have this gray helmet, which honestly I kind of wish was orange, but it's not the end of the world. And it also comes with a ton of hands, so you can do a ton of different moves and expressions. And then we got the hologram of Cosmerium. And moving on to the Mythic Legions version, guys. So we got a fur coat, which is pretty cool. It actually has two different tones. One is like a dirtier side and one's a lighter side. And there's a little sleeve over here, so you can stick the arm right through it with a little hole for the shoulder peg. And it comes with your typical Mythic Legions banner, but this time we have one of the Cabal. We do have a head. I believe this is the same one we got with the Sir Gerard helm. We do have a Cabal gourd, which is pretty cool. And we have some weapons here. We got a bow, we got a sword, we have a little dagger, we have some arrows, and we have a travel bag, which is pretty cool. And the biggest thing you're gonna get from this exclusive here is this Cabal t-shirt. So this is pretty cool. It does have a Velcro in the back, so you don't have to awkwardly put this thing on, but pretty cool. Let's go ahead and move on to the figures. Okay guys, and let's start by looking at the skeleton version of Wal-torr the Mad. So this is a pretty cool figure. I'm not really a skeleton collector, but you can't pass up Wal-torr the Mad. So I know Wal-torr's a big fan of the Skelly boys. There is a lot of things that I do notice here that I am going to talk about in a second. But first off, guys, we are getting our Thrass's head pretty quick. So this is really the newest piece that we are getting, and there is just so much detail here. This is so much. So after sitting with Eric at Intern for that 1 hour session and watching him sculpt, I am not surprised that he's able to get this much detail in this. So it's pretty crazy. The jaw you can move, so it's pretty cool. So I really do like that feature. But overall, guys, this is really solid, and we are getting a lot of new Necronominus parts at LegionsCon, so that was pretty cool. The rest of the body is pretty much parts from Xylona's flock minus the skeleton. So the shoulders, the chest, and the skirt, those parts are from Bardrek. I believe the belt as well. We do have some parts from the Xylurnian guard as well. He is a little dirty, but it does mean that he was probably underground, and that's how he escaped. He was a humble gardener that got buried after he passed away, but he came back to life, guys. He came back to life. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool skeleton figure on its own. And here's how he looks with the other head. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want to throw the Cabal shirt on, it's pretty simple. You do have Velcro back here, so we're going to toss this shirt on real quick. And here we go, Wal-torr with the shirt and the Cabal banner. Pretty awesome. This is probably how I'm going to be displaying him because I feel like this is only right. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. And now we're moving on to space. We are looking at the orange version of Wal-torr the Mad, the Cosmic Legion version. And honestly, guys, I am a pretty big fan of this. This new Tusk body is pretty much all reuse over here. That is not necessarily a bad thing. This is like the new Knight version of Cosmics, but the biggest thing that I really do love about the Cosmic Legion line is all the colors that we're getting. Seeing this in orange, I couldn't say no. His jaw is movable with this skeleton head, so that's pretty cool. And here's how he looks with the engineer's helmet, which is honestly pretty cool as well. I really do like this look. And here's Wal-torr the Mad with the Cronin bone version of the skull. So this is honestly pretty cool. And here we go with the helmet itself. And like I said, I kind of wish this was orange, but it does make it stand out a little bit. I mean, I do like the contrast of the black and orange, but the gray feels like it stands out a little bit too much for my taste. So I don't think I'll be using it, but it does have like a fogginess to it, which I think is pretty cool. So if you want to have just him sitting there like a dead Marine, I think that's a pretty awesome display piece right there, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And then the figure's loaded up with the accessories. Honestly, I feel like the accessories really make these figures. So not only are these just a really cool homage to Wal-torr, who is a big contributor and probably the main reason that this community is pretty cool as it is. The figures alone, like, they're awesome, guys. These are just awesome figures. Even if you're not a part of the Mythic Legions cabal, you know, it's pretty cool just to have these. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, and let's go ahead and move on to the next. Moving right along, we are now looking at Vorgus Vermillius version 2. This was the day one exclusive at LegionsCon. A very much anticipated and much needed upgrade, a version 2 of a figure from the very first Kickstarter. If you want that original figure, it does cost you a pretty penny in the aftermarket, so having this new one is so awesome, guys. Moving right along to the packaging, this comes with your typical LegionsCon packaging. On the very front, you do see Vorgus Vermillius figure itself. You do see the Mythic Legions logo with Vorgus Vermillius II's name. On the right side, you do see the Alithia faction. On the left, you get a good picture of this awesome translucent head. And on the very back, you do have some background so you can see and understand the lore of the blood armor. All right, guys, and moving right along, we are now taking a look at the accessories. So the first piece we're going to be taking a look at is the vampire head. This is the LegionsCon exclusive piece. This one is actually translucent, which I think is a pretty cool little neat feature. This headpiece we've actually received before. This one was from the All-Stars head pack, so I think that's a pretty cool use. All right, and moving right along, we've actually received this headpiece a couple of times. We've got the Vampire Phalanx helm from the Reinforcements 2 and the Operative 83 helm from Cosmic Legion. So this is a pretty cool reuse of this helm. And then we got a couple of weapons. We have a sword, we have an axe, and we have this spear, which has a little bit of detail. And actually, I don't know if we've ever received this spear before, but if we did, I actually haven't gotten this one. And a pretty cool feature, guys, and probably the biggest thing that comes out of this thing is the cape. But unfortunately, guys, my cape broke. But that's an easy fix. I'm gonna work on fixing that, so be very careful when you're messing with the cape. All right, guys, and taking a look at the figure itself, we've actually gotten this knight before, so there's not a ton of new parts here, but it is really nice just to get this new updated blood armor. And I'm actually a really big fan of this armor. It actually shares pretty much all the same armor as Gorgo over here, which we've gotten recently. There isn't much else to say about that, guys. This is a great looking 2.0 version, and this is something that I hope the Four Horsemen keeps doing, re-releasing a lot of older figures. The cape looks pretty amazing, guys. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I think this is like the biggest selling point. It is only pretty unfortunate that mine kind of broke right up front when you're trying to hook it over here, so be very, very careful with that. But other than that, I think I can get that fixed no problem. I think the only thing too that I would have to say is I feel like we're getting a little spoiled with the hand packs. If a hand pack was included, that would have been awesome, but honestly, that's more of a nitpicky detail. All I gotta say is this year's LegionsCon was so much fun, guys. Getting the exclusives, these were awesome. I'm a big fan of all four of them. If I had to choose a favorite, I am gonna go with, of course, the Valiant Knight. This one is just way too much fun. If you guys are interested in checking out the actual LegionsCon vlog where I picked up these figures, go ahead and click on the link below or check out my channel. But that's gonna be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.